everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm your host, John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about Frankenhooker and its brand new Synapse Films 4K Blu-ray that just came out. But before we get into that 4K Blu-ray review, I always like to give a quick film review, and today is no different. So if you don't know anything about the film Frankenhooker and you're just here to find out about the quality of that 4K Blu-ray, you guys can skip ahead right now. So back in 1990, Frank Henenlotter co-wrote and directed Frankenhooker. He's also directed such other films as Basket Case and Braindead. So he makes a lot of horror comedies, but for me, his magnum opus will always be Frankenhooker, which stars Frank Lorenz as Jeffrey Frankenhooker, you get it? And Patty Mullen, who plays his fiancée, Elizabeth, and then, of course, would become the titular character of Frankenhooker. And this movie is a parody and also an homage to Frankenstein, if you could have guessed. And it's your classic B film. It's a horror comedy. It's got a huge cult following, so it's not a movie for everybody. I know that, but it's one that's always appealed to me, and it's just because it's absolutely ridiculous and hilarious. This movie, at the very beginning, we see Jeffrey Franken and his fiance, who's got a little bit of weight to her. That's a big thing, and they even make some jokes about her weight. Maybe lay off the pretzels, which is a nice little joke that pays off later, that we know it's still inside of her. She's an eater. She enjoys a good meal. She's not that heavy, but that's a joke that the movie's making. And they're at her father's birthday party, and she decides, I'm going to get him a lawnmower. Unfortunately, she's a bit of an idiot. She's standing in front of the lawnmower, and it runs her over and kills her. And basically, in front of the whole party, breaks her off into a billion different pieces, and it's even reported that somebody took the head and a few other body parts. It's revealed to us pretty quickly it was her fiancé, Jeffrey. He's a little bit sad. He doesn't feel like he's going to find anybody else. That was the perfect girl for him. But, he's a little bit of a mad scientist himself. He's been thrown out of 3 medical schools, so he's definitely got a talent, but it's a talent that not everyone appreciates. So he figures out, all I got to do is get some body parts, and I can bring her back to life, like the mad scientist in Frankenstein, except his name isn't Frankenstein or Frankenstein, it's just Franken. And he gets the idea after he invents some super crack, which is just an absolutely ridiculous scene, or just a ridiculous premise in general. He decides, all right, I'm going to kill some hookers, and that's exactly what he does. Blows them all into a million different pieces, and he's going to take those body parts, which, by the way, fantastic scene when this all happens. You can clearly see, the special effects, they're bad, but they're bad intentional. Just like, the acting, you might not say that the lead actors are great actors, and they're not, but they know what kind of movie they're in. It's supposed to be ridiculous. The dialogue is supposed to be delivered in a very cheesy manner, and that's one reason why I appreciate this movie. It knows what kind of movie it is, so when they all get blown into a billion pieces, it just looks like a bunch of mannequins being blown up, and he takes those body parts back to his parents' house and decides, all right, this is it. He's figured out the science of this, and he brings her back to life. The only thing is, because he took the body parts from a bunch of different hookers, now this monster wants to get back out in the streets and get back to work, and that's exactly what she does. She heads off from New Jersey back to New York City, and she's just asking people, want a date?
Want a date? Going out? Looking for some action?
Got any money? Just asking him to so she can bang him. The only thing is, when she starts banging these people and she's banging this guy who looks just like Danny DeVito, somehow, and it's never explained, and again, you're not supposed to really think too much about this movie. It's under 90 minutes, so there's plot holes galore. But again, it's a B movie. It's not that kind of film, so she somehow can electrocute him, because electricity, I guess, brought her back to life. She electrocutes them to death, and at one point her head gets knocked back, especially when Jeffrey finds her, takes her back home, and he runs the experiment all over again, and this time he's able to bring her back to life as Elizabeth, thankfully. Now, Elizabeth, not too happy about this, and then, of course, unfortunately, he did kill a bunch of prostitutes, a bunch of ladies of the night, and their pimp comes in, very jack guy, very muscular, kind of like Freddie Mercury if he did steroids. He comes in and slices Jeffrey's head off, and Elizabeth decides, the way that he kind of was reassuring her everything was okay, which I think is fine, because she would have been dead. She does the exact same thing to him. She puts his head on a prostitute's body. and, brings him back to life. And of course, he should be grateful, but he's a little bit upset about it. And I just always really enjoyed this movie. And again, I know it's not for everyone because I put this movie on last night. I had just finished making dinner for my wife and I had burned her dinner, so she was a little bit upset as it was. So while we're waiting for her dinner to come from DoorDash, I put this movie on, and she's like, "Oh, you snuck it on, huh?" And I wanted to get her opinion on it, and she didn't really enjoy it. She gave it as she says, a 4.2 out of 10.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
I don't think it deserves that. I think this is a very solid 8 out of 10 movie. Again, a movie that knows exactly what it is. It's your classic horror comedy that developed a huge cult following. Even Bill Murray liked it. He said back in 1990, because he kind of was hanging out with the crew, he was editing Quick Change, which is a fantastic movie. I absolutely love Quick Change. It's funny. Also takes place in New York. The whole theme of Quick Change is him, Randy Quaid, and Gina Davis just can't get out of New York City. They just robbed a bank, and it makes sense. He's editing the movie, hanging out with them, and I guess he appreciated the film, and he said if you're going to see any movie in 1990, make sure it's Frankenhooker. And yeah, the reviews are pretty good for it, so people got it. Not everybody got it. Like, the VHS came out. We're going to get into its physical media release, its most recent physical media release in a second, but when the VHS came out, it would actually play in the video store. Want a date? So people kind of got it. It wasn't for everyone, though. And obviously, this isn't a movie that's going to appeal to everyone. The director even invited his parents to the premiere, and they surprisingly enjoyed it. They probably were just proud of their son for being a good director, because it is well directed. It looks good. It's cheesy as hell, but it's a damn good time. So I could always recommend Frankenhooker. And again, we're here today to talk about its new 4K Blu-ray release, so let's get into that right now.
Frankenhooker.
Incredible.
And here it is, Frankenhooker from Synapse Films. Now, this is just an upgrade from their 2011 Blu-ray. But before I talk about this physical media release, I want to talk about Synapse Films because I ordered this, and there's only a few thousand copies, I believe. I think it's 5,000 that have actually been released on 4K Blu-ray. And mine got lost in the mail, so I was really worried about that. And I reached out to Synapse Films, and they replied immediately. And Alex over there at Synapse Films mailed me out a brand new replacement 4K Blu-ray, and they must have put express mail on it because it got to me in 2 days. So if you're ever worried about using Synapse Films, because I always get a little concerned about buying from people who I haven't used before, and the only way to really get it was through them, so I was a little bit concerned. Well, you're in good hands if you actually buy from Synapse Films. They really took care of me, and I always appreciate good customer service like that. I wish every company did that. So yeah, this is just an upgrade from their 2011 Blu-ray. The audio is exactly the same. I believe it's coming from that same scan from 2011, which the Blu-ray that's packed in here, I'm pretty sure it's the old Blu-ray, but I can't be 100% sure. I'm just going to assume it's the old 2011 Blu-ray. From what I understand, that was a quality Blu-ray release. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's look at this beautiful slipcase. I don't know if you can tell that, the Frankenhooker font and, of course, Frankenhooker or Elizabeth herself right there is glossy compared to everything else. There she is on the back. You pull this bad boy out, get all your stats on the back. You turn it around. There's the artwork. This artwork is reversible, so it's up to you. You can have the original movie poster or the new commissioned artwork that was new commissioned in 2011. You get a little bit of reading material about Synapse Films right there. One Blu-ray disc, one 4K disc. All of your featurettes are on both the Blu-ray and the 4K Blu-ray, and especially if you're someone like me who is an extras junkie, unfortunately, there are no new special features. They are the same that have been following around this movie for a very long time. 2 of them are absolutely from 2006. There is an audio commentary track, and then, of course, there's a nice little, promotional kind of thing talking about the special effects. They clearly had fun making that special feature like they used to back in the day when they were doing DVDs and Blu-rays. They really cared about those special features and not just let's get it on the disc and be lazy about it. They clearly put some effort into it, but unfortunately, if you have that 2011 Blu-ray, you've seen these all before. Now, I never owned this before, so I appreciated watching the 2 interviews and watching that special feature about the special effects. So for me, it was definitely worth it, but I also understand why other people upgrading the 4K Blu-ray might be a little bit disappointed. Now, how about those visuals? You have Dolby Vision and HDR10, and I thought it looked great. Now, this is a movie that was tailor-made for VHS. It's the perfect kind of movie to watch on a Saturday night in the 1990s, early 2000s with your friends, and just laugh at this kind of movie. The special effects aren't great, but like I said, they're not great intentionally. So you're watching this kind of movie, if you're watching it on a shitty TV, that's what this was perfectly made for. So now upgrading the 4K Blu-ray, Blu-ray. How's it gonna look? Well, it still looks fantastic. My God, the colors especially, that's what really stands out. There's things in the background like a Little Tiger official price kind of toy. I never noticed it before because now the yellow is so bold. All the purple in this movie. It's a very colorful movie. All that stuff now is so vibrant. It really will stand out and catch your eye. And for a movie like this, that's all I could ever really appreciate. Hope that the skin tones all look very natural, and they do. Like I said, you got the buffed up Freddie Mercury in this movie, the guy who plays the pimp. You know what? You're going to see every vein on that fucking guy's body, and they look good. So, yeah. And the Frankenhooker, you're going to see everything on her. She looks great as well in a fucked up kind of way, but still, it all looks so damn good. So, I'm very impressed with the visuals. Now, the audio. Same exact audio tracks. You have a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and a 2.0. Both sound good. I was actually very impressed with the 5.1, if I'm being honest. You know, sometimes we just do those DTS tracks really good. And for one that's 15 years old, still pretty damn impressive. So I think you're really going to appreciate that, especially if you have the system that'll get a little bit of a workout, a nice little jog going on that. So I really did appreciate the audio as well. And overall, you know, you got nice packaging, great visuals, good audio. Yes, the special features aren't new, which is a little bit disappointing, but like I said, it's only going to be disappointing if you already own that Blu-ray. And I really think for the people who own the Blu-ray, they're going to have to really take a step back and think, maybe it isn't worth it for me to upgrade to 4K Blu-ray because you're only going to get a visual upgrade and, you know, nice packaging. And that Blu-ray right now, if you haven't upgraded the 4K Blu-ray to the format yet, is only $13 on Amazon. So that's an absolute steal. So if you're not somebody who's absolutely in love with this movie but would still like to add it to your collection, I can actually recommend grabbing that Blu-ray. Now for me, I love Frankenhooker. Saw it was coming to 4K Blu-ray. I couldn't have pre-ordered it fast enough. So for me, this is definitely something that I'm very happy with. Can I say it's a 10 out of 10 release? Absolutely not. But it's still a good release, that one that I'll give a pretty damn solid 8 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it here for me in another episode of Let's Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And if you did, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, share this video if you could. And we also have channel memberships, guys. So if you want to become a friend of the channel, a producer for the channel, like John Doe Juggalo, Vince the Movie Man, and Harvey Scott, you can do that. Or you can bump it up to the channel directors like Uncle V, Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews, Insomniac, Stone, Gasman, and Nicholas Head, or bump it up to the channel bankroll members like Ben Rondo and Mr. Smelly Potato. But of course, guys, no pressure at all. I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. And don't forget, guys, the Let's Talk Movies podcast, it's on his own YouTube channel now. So we'd appreciate it, David and I, aka Shamrock Balls, if you went over there and gave us a subscribe and check out what we're doing over there. We recently reviewed Jurassic Park, gave it the full treatment. So, you know, if you're ever out on the run or a jog or whatever you're doing, mowing the lawn, maybe pop on the Let's Talk Movies podcast and let us know what you think. But of course, again, no pressure at all. But that's going to do it here for me. Remember, guys, if you enjoyed this, get out in those streets just like Frankenhooker and tell your friends about us.